And it's time to say good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just joining us, this is yours truly, the brother who doesn't eat iron, but he's definitely stronger than the lion. Some heard the name, some heard people talk about him. You've gotten the opportunity this beautiful July 4th, Thursday afternoon to match the name, face, and voice. And as always, Father God, we want to give you praise. We want to magnify your name. Blessed be your holy name forever. Lord, you've given us another chance to see another day. And with that, we just ought to be grateful to you. Okay. Well, folks, please allow me to borrow the wordings of the wise man. You know, tough times don't last, tough people do. And the height of a person is never known until he rises, because there's no second chance to make that first impression. What people think about you, then the possibility for your dream is none of your business. Let them worry about it. And he went further to say, when you fall, make sure you land on your back, because when you can look up, you can get up. You have it within you to do so. You have comeback power. With that said, folks, this is the medicine of the microphone. Africa's media do it extraordinary. As for the giant, that now you know me, Garley, welcome to the show. And just in case you're celebrating your birthday today, I'd like to say congratulations. In the case of America, happy 4th of July. And let us show, hope you're having a great time this beautiful Thursday afternoon. All the barbecue locations. I'm live from the Twin Cities of Minnesota. So give me some addresses, okay? Listen, folks, on Sunday, we'll have a very special guest, a professor, a son of Liberia, a businessman, Dr. John T. Wu will be our special guest. But we're going to have him on just for a little bit. He's going to be telling us a little bit about himself and what do the Liberian people hope to hear from him on Sunday when he appears on Bridge Radio Africa. I'd like to say hi to Mr. Oscar Dennett, Simon and Fakati, Carmen Brown. Let us show who you are having a great time this afternoon. Don't be selfish. Now share the video. Invite a few friends. Let's together have a ball this afternoon. Happy 4th of July. Félicitations. Merci pour votre contribution. Bienvenue. Okay. Now this time, ladies and gentlemen, we're back in studio, and I want to introduce to you now my special guest. This is just a prelude. He will be here live on Bridge Radio Africa on Sunday for a very special edition of Ashford Garley Live, and Dr. John T. Wu, the son of Liberia, based out of Maryland, the USA, will be telling us what he intends to do for our country, Mama Liberia, through education. The elder James C. Bly is in the building. D. God Grace is also here this afternoon. Please join me now as we introduce to you Dr. Wu. Dad, good afternoon and welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ashford, the giant. Golly, thank you for having me on your show.
Okay.
To God, to the Almighty God, we give glory.
Okay.
Happy,
Now,
happy Independence Day to all of the folks in the United States and abroad as well. Happy
okay.
4th to all of you. So I'm glad to be on your show this evening, I would say, here in the United States. And folks back home, be a late evening for folks back home in Liberia. Thank you, Mr. Garley, for inviting me to speak through your Bridge Radio Africa platform and network about my intent to seek the presidency of the University of Liberia. It is both a privilege and a profound honor to speak to an audience through this medium. I'm deeply grateful for this opportunity to share a glimpse into my journey and aspirations with you. Born from a legacy of educators and driven by an unwavering passion for knowledge, my career has been shaped by a commitment to excellence in academia, research, and public service. I'm delighted to stand and will be standing as a candidate for the presidency of the University of Liberia, a position that represents the combination of over 25 years of dedicated teaching and leadership. My academic journey began at the University of Liberia, where I earned my Bachelor of Science degree in mathematics and secondary education, setting the foundation for a lifelong pursuit of learning. This journey continued as I pursued advanced degrees across esteemed institutions in the United States. A master's degree, a Master of Arts in mathematics and teaching of mathematics from Western Michigan University, a Master of Science in statistics from Michigan State University, a Master's of Business Administration from the University of Maryland Global Campus, and ultimately a Doctor of Philosophy degree in biostatistics, mathematical statistics from the University of Alabama at Birmingham. Throughout my career, I have had the privilege of serving in various capacities that have broadened my perspective and deepened my commitment to education and public service. Currently, I serve as a senior management and program analyst at the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, where I oversee critical data governance initiatives. I'm very delighted to be on your show this evening because I know that the future lies in our hands, and putting the University of Liberia on the map is very important to me as anybody else, as I was one of those who had the opportunity of being granted a scholarship by the University of Liberia over 40 years ago to study abroad, to study at Western Michigan University, because I was fortunate to have been appointed as an instructor at the University of Liberia when I graduated in 1981 in Liberia. Appointed as an instructor, within a couple of years, I was granted the opportunity of a scholarship to study abroad. And immediately upon completion of my master's degree at Western Michigan University, there was a lapse of communication with the university, and that continuing some issue with regards to completing, doing my continuing my activities in the United States. I sought out opportunities in the United States with the intention to return home at a decent time to contribute to the University of Liberia.
And folks, if you're just joining us, this is Ashford Garley Live. We're live from Minnesota, and my special guest tonight is Dr. John T. Wu, a son of Liberia. And this is just a prelude. He will be here live this Sunday in an exclusive with me on here. Well, Dr. Wu, let me just pick your brain a little bit. I know this is just a prelude and you will be coming on Sunday, but the University of Liberia has been politicized. Now, will you be able to diverge the university from from the Liberian government and Liberian politics? And if so, how do you intend to do that?
Well, that's a great question, Mr. Garley. You know, I am not a politician, but an academic, and I have been engaged in a lot of activities over the last 40 years, working in different opportunities that I've had. So, and studying as well, being a scholar in a sense. Liberia needs someone at the helm who is capable of bridging that gap that we have faced all along. There's a need for scholarship, contributions. My academic contribution, I underscore, by a robust portfolio of activities that I've been engaged in. And I think it's important to have someone in the leadership of the University of Liberia to bridge that continuation, that connection between the academics, the administrators, and the students. I know that, as you have mentioned in your question, there may be issues that are politicized in Liberia, but we have to temper this down a little in terms of not, lighting a fire in itself, but making sure that at least we address the issues, be able to listen to what's the issue on the ground in Liberia. What are we facing? What's the gap that we have in terms of promoting the institution in itself? Because there is a need of saying, well, we have a good esteem or enhanced partnership with others who will be able to assist us as we move forward in Liberia. Just thinking about fostering good partnerships with networks of potential donors would be a way to go in itself to make the University of Liberia a high quality university. And also thinking about bringing in my connections with others outside of Liberia, colleagues and friends abroad, to assist or to help us have a robust support to revamp and strengthen the University of Liberia in itself, the undergraduate colleges, the graduate and professional schools and programs as well. There'll be a need going forward to understand if at all we have some sort of needs assessment and infrastructure inventories at all of the campuses. I believe we have 4 major campuses of the University of Liberia. One is at Capitol Hill, and Capitol Hill is a very reserved area in itself, in the heart of Monrovia. We have a campus at Fendel, the Health Services campus in Kunga Town, and of course Senja in the Senja campus in Grand Kipman County. So those are things that we will be doing in terms of bringing things together. The political aspect will be there, And we will not shy away from politics moving forward.
Okay, folks, again, if you just joining us, this is Ashford Garley Live on Brace Radio Africa. I want to say a big thank you to all of you for taking out time of your busy schedule just to form part of the show tonight. Posted caller is in the building, Dorothy Brown. Is also here tonight. And Madison Camon is listening as well. Want to say a big thank you. Share the video. This is just a prelude. He reappears on Sunday afternoon. I'll say the 5 p.m. And we have spoken with several other radio outlets in Liberia and parts adjacent. So there's going to be a worldwide interview on Sunday when he reappears on British Radio Africa. Dr. Wulu, you said some some great things in terms of your plans for the University of Liberia. Now let us talk about experience for one. Besides you being a professor at various universities here in the United States, including your alma mater, the University of Liberia. Uh, let us talk about business and university management. Where do you stand?
Right. In that, I've been very fortunate to have acquired graduate degrees and having an MBA, a business administration degree, to run global institutions. So with the Masters of Business Administration, that had taught me a lot more in itself. I've had opportunities of leading units and divisions within the United States of America in my place or different places of work. And I have served at the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services for at least, I would say, 7 years. Of the 25 so years I've been working with the federal government in the United States. So I've served in capacity of serving as division head, a branch head for research and evaluation within Health and Human Resources, Health and Human Services Department within the United States. Prior to serving in the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. So the beginning part is serving as senior mathematical statistician and later becoming chief statistician at the Department of Homeland Security in the United States. Within my portfolio with the Department of Homeland Security, and I was specifically with a component in the Department of Homeland Security. That component was ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And I served in a particular area division called Immigration ICE Health Service Corps that dealt with the health resources of folks within health detention facilities and other places in the United States. So, and elsewhere as well. Serving as chief statistician, I formulated, or I was very much responsible for the establishment of what's now being used or being called the Data Analytics Office within the ICE Health Service Corps, part of the ICE component within DHS. So when I say DHS, I mean the Department of Homeland Security.
Not that I want to hold you there for a minute. Former President George Weah introduced the free education policy at the University of Liberia. Did it hurt the university budget, or did it grow the university budget? If so, what are your alternatives?
And basically, one of the things that I have in mind, I'm not sure exactly what kind of feasibility study was done prior to the decision that was made, but it's in the past now, and we have to move forward. In that, if the university is considered as a public university and a university with no expense to students, this will have to be a decision that's made by the university body in itself to continue that process. The government of Liberia funding of the university is one thing, but knowing that there will be capabilities of observing the way that the president of the university will comport himself or herself to get into bringing funding to the University of Liberia, whether it's from abroad or whether it's from alumni who have completed the University of Liberia. University of Liberia has been existing for a very long time. Prior to even it being named, the University of Liberia was referred to as Liberia College. So there are folks who have completed the university who want to see better things done at the University of Liberia. And I'm very in tune to the situation there with regards to tuition, school fees paid by students and things like that to the university. We'll have to revisit such issue. And the need of having free education to Liberian masses is very important because those masses are the future leaders of Liberia. And we're going to kind of look at what efforts can be made to bring about that opportunity. We're going to ensure that the development of budgetary and management processes are in place to allow for financial support from various funding sources to construct and erect, programs that we need to have in force within Liberia for the University of Liberia to become a premier university, not only in Liberia, but in Africa as a whole.
Okay, now there's a gentleman here called Thomas Awaji. Perhaps he joined the program late, and they're asking, is your guest a Liberian? If so, Dr. Blue, why don't you tell us a little bit about your upbringing, whether or not you're a Liberian, because they're concerned whether you're a Liberian.
Yes, and it must be one of the youth, one of the folks who have been around since I left Liberia. Yes, I am Liberian by birth, by a native Liberian. I was born in Monrovia. I am from parents, John and Minnie Wulu, who formed the schools. And even now, that's one of the things that is a priority on my list of keeping it up. The John and Minnie Wulu school system exists in Monrovia. And there's part of the school there is the Richard M. Nixon Institute, which will be well known by many others. It's one of those schools that I myself see myself as a graduate of that back in the 60s or the early 70s. I attended the school myself and being delighted that the school exists today. I serve as a chairman of the school to keep it running. For the last 55 years, the school had been in existence. In fact, this year would be the 60th year of the school being existing from
Okay.
1964.
Okay,
My parents are hailed from my mother from Maryland County, and my father is from Grand Jita County.
Okay,
Yes.
now Dr. Blue, I believe I just posted the number, and others want to ask you one or two questions before we leave tonight, because this show going to be very powerful on Sunday. So we have a caller on the line. Hello, caller.
Yes, hi.
Please tell us your
My
name. Please tell us your name and where you call us from.
yeah, my name is Mr. Abraham Varma. I'm calling you from North North Dakota.
Okay, go ahead.
Um,
Ask a question.
my question, I have a couple of questions. My question to the candidate is that how will he for Liberia? We know that it's a poor country, post-war country and all that. How would he improve the university infrastructure? You understand, considering the limited resources and funding that we have, and what strategies would he employ to increase access to quality education for underprivileged students?
Thank you. The voice of Abraham Varman from the state of North Dakota. Dr.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yes. And thank you so much for such a great question, Abraham. I really appreciate those questions. But a couple of questions there about understanding that Liberia is a post-war country and assuring access to quality education in Liberia. And this is what this is all about. It me putting my hat in the ring, and very soon, because I know it's more of a prelude right now. But putting my hat in the ring, I've been thinking of this for over 40 years. Given that Liberia had given me my start, the University of Liberia in particular had given me my beginning. To have me to be on a scholarship to study abroad was very important. So in that, others who are in Liberia may not know this, but I was one of those who taught not only at the University of Liberia in the early 80s, but also taught at my alma mater, Ashford College, that I attended for about a couple of years as a full-time instructor, teaching mathematics and physics at Ashford College and Industrial Training High School, just high school in itself. But let folks be aware. Granting folks access to quality education is key. The main thing that has to be done is assuring that our colleges are standing right to support such endeavors. There are several colleges within the University of Liberia, and there are professional graduate and professional programs as well within the University of Liberia that we ought to strategize and create incentives for our students going forward. Just thinking of those colleges, there will be strategies set up to help assure that folks have quality education and also inform folks about the plight that Liberia had been through during the war era and during the post-war. Where can we move? How can we move forward going forward? So Abraham, I really thank you for such question. These are great questions you have raised. And in terms of addressing those issues, we need very strong individual at the helm running the University of Liberia.
And again, folks, Abraham want to say a big thank you too to the questions. And folks, if you just joining us, this is just a prelude to Dr. Ulu coming at British Radio Africa on Sunday. This Sunday, get the popcorn rolling and get ready because we are going to be here for 1.5 hours as he tells us about his interest in transforming the University of Liberia into a premier one. Earlier, he talked about his contacts and connections, and how they can transform our university. And with that, Dr. Blue, I want to say a big thanks to you. We came for a few minutes now. We almost gone half an hour. Just in closing, give us your closing statement just before we take leave of you, Doc.
Yeah, and this is very insightful, Mr. Garley. I really appreciate this opportunity to share some initial information with folks, given my interests, and to pursue this as an academic and a professional, a business-oriented individual. My hope is the best for Liberia going forward. I'm putting my hat in the ring, not mainly for myself, for the future of Liberia. The youth of Liberia needs help. And there will be opportunities where, when I talked about discussing programs at the university and making sure that our university students are productive in their efforts, will be very important. I think there are different colleges, and what's being done is very important to ensure the students, faculty, and others at the University of Liberia that we are proactive in what we do to make the best of our efforts and to assure that people have scholarships, to assure that folks are given opportunity to produce academically and professionally at the university, and also compete for positions within the government and allowing the government to see the worth of our individuals that we train at the University of Liberia. So there will be advocacy. There will be opportunities to advocate for our students, our faculty, to have that opportunity to brand themselves in other areas and to create avenues where folks will have such opportunities will be my major effort going forward, Mr. Garley. So I say thank you very much for this opportunity.
Okay, Doug, and it was, of course, nice having you on. I believe the last time you appeared on Bridge Radio Africa was a few years ago in Canada when you hired our professional services out there across the bridge. Yes. in Windsor, Ontario. Well, until then, Doug, we'll see you tomorrow, Sunday night. Stay safe. My regards to the family and enjoy the rest of the holiday and weekend.
Thank you very much, Mr. Garley. Really appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. Good job. Well, ladies and gentlemen, of course, this is yours truly, the brother who doesn't eat iron, but he's definitely stronger than the lion. Some call him the golden voice of radio, the medicine of the microphone, Africa's media, doobie-doo. Extraordinary, folks. I'm telling you. And at this point, I just want to say a big thanks to all of you who took up your time, the busy schedule, just to form part of the show tonight. My brother, Abraham Varman, who called from North Dakota. Thanks for being on the show tonight. And as a close, just give you a few bars of my theme song. Hey! Basillon Blue. C'est qu'on voulait appeler. Hey! You wouldn't know Muzu, and what you mat double. Too dry. They say when white men know your friend black man. Don't see okra and swallow bone because you can't hide your nakedness from beef and bucket. When God bless you, don't see that medicine. When Kafi come from underneath the water and say the crocodile here sweating, don't say that lie. He doesn't eat iron, but he's definitely stronger than a lion. Tough times don't last. Tough people do, and the height of a man is never known until he rises. When you fall, make sure you land on your back, because when you can look up, you can get up. You have that power to do so. You have comeback power. And what people say about you or the possibility for your dream is none of your business. Let them worry about it. And as the old African proverb goes, when there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. Stay true to yourself. Do harm to no one. Treat people as you want to be treated. Until then, folks, this has been yours truly. Ashford the Giant, that now you don't be called. Have a good night. Bapesa kamote manenge ndi yolmao double oh